And welcome inside the Backstage Pass. It is Friday, July the 15th. I guess that's halfway through or close to halfway through the month. It'll be today or tomorrow, whatever your, I guess just sits out there and then shakes for your fancy, no doubt. July 31st coming up, of course, and then August, half the year is already gone. It's hard to believe that we're talking music every day. The summer shows, you never know who's going to come on to as well. Presented by our good friends at Bangtail Whiskey, MitchMacs.com, and Hank Jr. Productions. Pleased to welcome in a show favorite. She's always great here on the show. We met her in Nashville, and she can sing like the Dickens. You know her. She knows us. She's a show favorite. She's in the Boondocks right now. Jessie G joins us here on the podcast. What's going on, my friend?
Hey, what's up, Brandon? Yeah, I'm in the Boondocks. It is the middle of Missouri, and they call it the float capital of America. And we're about to go on a floating trip after this.
Okay.
And you can see our new Sprinter van we just bought to tour in.
I love
right
it.
there.
I love that.
Yeah, it's all converted. It's got a bathroom, a kitchen,
Really?
everything. You're actually the first to see it. We haven't announced
First
it
one.
yet. So.
All right. Well, there you go. See, I feel special there, no doubt. Well, tell me what that's been like. First of all, getting back on the road, having that tour bus to get around in, just knowing you're making people feel good again after the raucous, 2 years we've had. Playing music, seeing them drink, have a good time. What's that been like?
It's been pretty awesome. I mean, you definitely appreciate everything after going through something like the pandemic
Mm-hmm.
where it was taken away and we couldn't do it for so long. So it's been amazing to get back to it, and seeing the level of gratitude from the fans has been great. I feel like people they soak it in a lot more because they know what it's like to have it taken away from them. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's been great. And we've been on the road for about a week. So that's been
Yeah.
cool. We've been all the way from Oregon to now Missouri. So we went through, we did Lake Tahoe first, did all that. Then we went through
Mm-hmm.
Utah. We did Dinosaur Country. I don't know if you've
Nice.
ever done that.
I'm
It's
not.
amazing. It's huge, like mountains of Colorado and the gates of Lordor where it begins. And now we're in Missouri and then back to
Mm-hmm.
Nashville. So it's been a fun trip.
I love that too. Definitely going to have to get out there and see you play live one day and just enjoy the concerts there in Nashville or just wherever it is close by too. Well, a lot of people too, like I said, the touring's back. We're kind of getting back to a little bit of normal here too. And I was going to ask you kind of what's next. I know we talked a lot about Rainbow Lullaby in Nashville and of course all the other great music you've put out there previously, but kind of what's next? Then you got a game plan, you've got some songs you can't. I'm sure you're ready for the audience to hear, ready to get out to fans. Talk about work in the studio and some new music coming out.
Yeah. So actually, we got a lot coming up. We're heading back out to the Oregon area for a show in a couple weeks, and then we go to the UK for 3 shows.
Mm.
Which, thankful to this podcast, we were talking last time, and you asked me a rapid fire question. You were like, "Hey, what is one of the places that you would want to play if you could play anywhere?" And I said Scotland. And a listener actually texted me afterward, and they were like, "I have a connection in Scotland." And then they told some dude that ran a festival out there, and he reached out. So now we're playing in Scotland next month. So thank you to the Sports Guy podcast, because we would have not been able
Wow.
to do that without y'all. So thanks,
We aim
Brandon.
to
And
we aim to please. And like I said, what's cool about it now is we're on that nightwaveradio.net. So actually the broadcast, when I tell people that we're broadcasting the UK, we're broadcasting the UK. And there's proof of it from Jessie G here on the Backstage Pass, again, powered by the Sports Guys podcast.com. We're live on that. And of course the YouTube channel. And you meet the masses, and we try to get out there to as much and be global here on the show. And there's a perfect example of getting a great artist such as yourself a live show, right?
Yep, exactly. And thank you for doing that. So we're going to be doing that next week. We're going to Wales,
Mm-hmm.
Scotland, and England, and Liverpool, where the Beatles started out. So it's going to be
You're
awesome.
you're covering some great ground there. Well, give me an update kind of on Rainbow Lullaby and just coming out last October. We talked very ad nauseum about that in Nashville too, which is we had to because it's such a great song when it came out. You actually played a little piece of that in the room before we got the can't do that. Whoa, whoa! I was like, no, let her sing. Angels are flying out. Let her sing her beautiful songs. Give us an update on how that one's done.
Yeah, so it's been really great. We released that as kind of more of a passion project. I definitely wanted to talk about a personal situation, a struggle that we had been through. We had struggled through 2 miscarriages, and it
Mm-hmm.
was really the hardest time in my life and my husband's life. And now, after that, very traumatic and hard experience, we have a beautiful baby girl, and she is
Yeah.
7 months old. And it's been one of those journeys that it was very hard, but I felt like people needed that song, and it needed to be out there, and it needed to live out there for other people, just to have, to lean on, or to have to know that they're not alone. So that was a very hard, deep, intimate song
Hmm.
to put out, but I'm happy I did it, just because, I think the music is not just for me. God gave me this gift, I think, for the
Hmm.
world. So, I felt very passionate about that. But we have a lot more music coming out too. I'm very fortunate to have recorded 11 more songs with
Wow.
Gretchen Wilson, and
Hmm.
we are going to eventually put all those out. And then we also have like a little rock project. I haven't really told anybody about it, but I'm going to call it Alter Ego. And you're going to see my more rock side. And
Okay.
you're going to see a lot of songs that I worked on with one of the guys who is in the band All Time Low. His
Oh yeah.
name's Dan Swank. And then the drummer for All Time Low, Ryan Dawson, played on the tracks. So it's like awesome, really rocking. And, you get to see another side of me. So I think that's what it's all about. I have all these influences, and
Hmm.
uh, you don't need to be in this little box of just, one thing. You can be all of it and still be a country music artist. So I'm excited for you guys to hear it. But yeah, lots coming out.
I can't wait to hear it too. Like I said, the alter ego, the different side of you, it's going to be a cool thing, no doubt, because you can sing the phone book. I've said that many, many times out there, no doubt. Tell me about this. I always love to ask, how's Gretchen doing? I know you love working with one of the best in the business, one of the best music minds, one of the best writers. But pretty much her track record speaks for itself. What she did in country music to change it for ladies back in the late '90s, early 2000s. What's it been like for her to mentor you, and just for you guys to be able to step in a room and share ideas with each other?
It's been amazing. I mean, to have somebody like her, she was already my role model before I even
Hmm.
had met her. So to have somebody like her on my side, on my team, writing with me, has been just a dream come true for me. It really has. And to be able to say, I wrote this song with her, and to be able to learn from her, because she'll be like, I've been there. I've done that. This is
Hmm.
how I think you should do it. Or, okay, like, I'm going to let you learn your own mistakes, kind of thing. So it's really nice to have that mentor. And she's kind of like a big sister mom. I don't know. She's in the middle there. She's like not a mom, but not a sister. She's like in that middle area. So she's like very loving and protective over me. And now she's the godmother to my child. And so that's fun, because we get
I
to
love
take
that.
her over there, and she's so good with babies. Like, she makes Ozzy laugh so hard. It's beautiful. So she's doing great. She's
Hmm.
just living the life. She lived in Florida for a bit. Now she's back in Nashville, and she's just loving on her dogs, and doing what she wants every day, which is everyone's goal.
Yeah,
So it's been
that's
pretty great.
that's a good problem to have. We'll tell her I said hello from the backstage pastor, no doubt.
Yeah.
Looking at that too as well, I just can't believe it's been that few years since your self-titled EP came out, and I echo this sentiment every day. Whatever this is one of my favorite songs. It's probably my favorite to have you perform. It still probably attracts the crowd out there when you guys do those live shows. Give me some of those best memories of just getting that type of music, that first EP out to the public, and then it kind of has that, you're right, that sense of validation, like this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and the crowd loved it, and it's the first EP, you'll never forget it, right?
Thank you, Brandon. You always pump me up. I need to bring you on the road as my hype man.
Come on with it.
Yeah, no, releasing that EP was such a huge part of my career, because I had been just touring and working with Gretchen. And then she
Hmm.
was like, let's take this step further. Let's sign you to the record label and release this under Redneck Records. So that was like a very pivotal part in my life and my career, which, I'm very proud of. And that EP just symbolized so much of music I had been working on for years since I moved to Nashville. When I moved out there, I didn't know anybody. I
Hmm.
literally didn't know a soul besides Gretchen. And, she's a busy woman. Like, at first, it was hard to get a hold of her. So there'd be weeks at a time where I'd have to just figure it out myself. I'd have to go out to writers' rounds, or
Hmm.
go hit a bar and buy people drinks and ask them to write with me. And just, it was a good time for me, because it allowed me to pay my dues, put the
Hmm.
hard work in. And then when it came time for me to show Gretchen my music, she was just like, this is amazing. I want to sign you, take you out on the road. And so for the last like 7 years, like, I was able to sing with her, go out on the road with her, with great bands like Loving Mary Band. I don't know if you know who
Hmm.
they are, but Marty Fredrickson,
Yep.
who leads that band, and all the players in the band, they're all stars. It's like a band of all stars. But Marty wrote with Steven Tyler and
Yeah.
did some other amazing stuff. And so it's like, having all of those influences that guided my whole life finally surround my music. It's almost weird how, like, I don't know if it's manifestation or you speak it and it happens or what, but all the biggest people that have influenced me in my life are now kind of like in my life in some capacity. And so it's just beautiful, and it's crazy. It blows my mind every day. I'm like, God is good, and I'm very blessed. So yeah, that EP was just a huge part of my life. I know it was a few years ago, and we've been trying to release new music since then. But with all the stuff that happened, you know, there's a lot of things now that we need to figure out. We had to kind of start back at zero with some stuff and figure out how we're going to release everything now. But the music's there, and so that's the good part.
The good part is it's there and it's there at fingertips. You can actually click on it, enjoy what you want to enjoy. And that's the beauty of this streaming we're into today. We'll take a quick timeout. We still got rapid fire, and we'll come back. And yes, I'm going to ask, if several people go, ask her about Army Ranger. I'm going to ask about that too. And of course, a duet she did called I'll Fly Away with Gretchen, which is another beautiful song if you guys are looking for just some music to check out there. Some of you guys probably already have, but it's always good to go get likes on the socials and get the music out there. It's Jessie G here on the Backstage Pass. Again, powered by the sportsguyspodcast.com. We're coming up on high school football season, getting ready for that August 26th. CajunCountryRadio.com will be the call. Yours truly, Robbie Lynn, and of course, our good friend Kevin Mercado, sound engineer. You can listen to all the Vider Pirate games on that particular station. Looking forward to it. I'm glad to be back behind the mic doing high school football. That's going to be fun for me. You know, I love sports. You know that. So that's why it's sports, music, a Grand Slam. We'll take a quick time out. More with Jessie here. Like I said, we'll talk Army Ranger and a whole lot more here. Rapid fire. Hang tight.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And of course, those times will vary through the next few weeks, so be on the lookout for that schedule on the social media pages out there. Some good shows over the next 2 weeks, and then we'll back to our regular time, 3:30 to the 6:30, somewhere in there. And of course, high school football beginning August 26th with the Vider Pirates on CajunCountryRadio.com. Back here with Jessie G on the Backstage Pass. I want to ask you about Army Ranger, because that was one that kicked off that whole thing and segued into the self-titled EP. Another special song. You really told a great story with that particular tune. There was some great writing in there from I know some great writers there in Nashville, which was a ton of them there, no doubt. Tell everybody who may not know about that song, because it still holds a special place in your heart too.
Yeah, so I'm married to a military man. He's a Green Beret in the Special Forces, and at the time he was actually in selection to become a Green Beret, and I had this idea for a song for a while that was called Army Ranger. And the reason why I loved it is because the two, Army and Ranger, it translates all across the world. You know, everybody's got their armies, everybody's got their Rangers, multiple meanings and all of that. And I'm all about the double entendres and all that. So went into the writing room with two friends, Melanie Marini and Michael August. And I told them, I was like, hey, I have this idea for a song. I don't know if you guys like it. And they were like, we love it. Because they had some family members that were either a Ranger qualified or in Ranger bat. And so it meant a lot to them because that is the highest accolade, one of the highest accolades you can get in the military. And so we were like, all right, let's write a song about it. So I hadn't seen my now husband, then boyfriend, in I think it was 2 weeks. I hadn't heard from him, didn't know how he was, where he was. And it was actually like a really hard time for me because I didn't know anything about the military or how all that worked. And I didn't have that thick skin that you really need as a military spouse that now I'm a lot better with. But so when we went in the studio, we wrote it in like 45 minutes. There were a lot of tears. Just, man, that song is very big for my life. And, you know, I sing it every show. It's actually toward the end of the set because it's one of those songs that most people know that come to my shows and can sing all the words to. So we always save it for the end. And there's a lot of tears in the audience. And it's a good time for me to raise a glass with everybody and talk about what it means to be, you know, either a family member and who supports someone in the military, or, you know, being that military man or woman that sacrifices everything every day to give us the freedoms that we have as Americans. So it's pretty cool to have a song like that. Like I said many times before, I don't feel like I wrote it. I feel like God gave it to me. It's just one of those, it poured out so fast that I just really feel like, you know, it happened for a reason. And I still get choked up when I sing it. And there's still times where I relive it, where my husband's gone deployed and, you know, I sing that song and I get back to that same spot I was years ago when I wrote it. So yeah, that song's very meaningful. And to have all those people connect to it means the world to me.
And I'll tell you this, the music video will hit you hard too at the same time. And you'll have a good time with that for that particular song for Army Rangers. So if people hadn't checked it out, the music video is fantastic. And we'll definitely give you the chill bumps and do things that, like I said, will put your mind in a different perspective on this country. And of course, a lot of people have, you know, family members who are military currently or ex-military, retired, things like that. And that's what the song meant a lot to me because of my friends and former family members who served in the armed forces. So definitely great write, great song, and great music video. You guys have a lot of great things coming out. And again, I cannot wait for this new side of you, this rock side, and of course the touring. This is going to be a lot of fun. All right, I'm going to go ahead and dive into it real quick. I've changed up a few of the questions, some things people may not know. Favorite flavor of ice cream, and what's the last series you binge watched?
So I like to mix two ice creams. I like to mix cookie dough and brownie for some reason. I just love the way it tastes. And I like when the ice cream melts a little bit. So it's not so much like solid, but it's more like that milkshake. So that's my ice cream, if anyone wants. And last series I binge watched. Oh man. What's the last one that came out recently? Oh my gosh. And we were all really excited for it.
I'm trying to think of the show now. You got me going blank. Well, I will say this. You talked about the Boondocks,
Ozarks.
The one Ozarks. Yeah, it came to
And
mind.
we're
The
here.
Ozarks. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We're
here in Missouri. This is crazy.
And you're right there.
I tell you, my life comes full circle so much. It's insane. Yep.
It's pretty crazy. It really is. All right. If Jessie G won the lottery tomorrow, any capacity, what's the first thing she'd do with the money?
Oh, well, I'd buy my bands their own spinner because this is not going to be enough room for all my dudes. I don't know if you guys can see the sprinter out here, but yeah, so I'd buy my band their own also. And then, and then we'd go on vacation somewhere crazy. I don't know. We'd maybe, well, we're going to Scotland. So you know what? I just live it up and stay in a castle when I'm in Scotland playing over there.
Love it too. Favorite wine to drink?
Ooh, I'm a red wine girl. Pretty much anything red. A good cab. Yep.
I like that. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Now this may take some thought, may not. Title of the first song you ever wrote, or if you don't remember the title, what was the song about?
Oh, first song I ever wrote, which that I remember, is 7 years old, and it was called Way Too Early. It was it was not good. Honestly, I should remake it just for everybody here.
A lot of people have said that too. They get the title there, the first thing out of their mouth is like, okay, here's the title. This is what it was. It was not good. That was the key words. It was not.
It was horrible. I went through all the ages, and then I talked about the age you were at, and then I talked about a problem. Yeah, it was. Whatever though.
Well, I tell you, I love the story. Safe travels back to Nashville. Safe travels to Scotland. Glad we made a connection there to get you tour date over there. That's the beauty of doing this show too. Rainbow Lullabies out there if you guys want to continue to check it out. Like I said, over and over again, or for the first time if you're a first-time viewer of us here on the show. But she's always a rising artist, very generous to give back to us. And of course, I love your music. Say hi to the family, and of course, I know we're going to be talking to when the new stuff comes out. Jessie, appreciate the time. Looking forward to doing it again.
Thank you so much, Brandon. Thanks for having me and supporting me as always. Can't wait to hang out with you guys again soon. And thanks for the Scotland thing. I'm going to send you guys all the pictures and videos of me and Castle singing.
I love it too. Can't wait to see that. We'll share it all over our pages too. We'll talk to you guys next week on the Backstage Pass. Until then, thanks to our sponsors. Have a terrific weekend. I think I'm going to the beach this weekend. It's going to be a little hot, but I'm going to go take a little dip in the water, which is kind of nice there too. We'll see you guys next week. It is the Backstage Pass, and of course, CajunCountryRadio.com, your home for Vider Pirate football. We start the call August 26th. We'll see you guys.